Ladies and gentlemen, the deuce is loose.
Take note.
Big Beach. We're here.
My man, Alex.
It's different this time.
What's up, guys?
Guys, we got 123, 107 on that road trip. We needed that win against Portland, and now we are coming back home. Coming back home, we did not go back out on the West Coast. We go down to Miami, so that's a little fun trip, as you said. Welcome to the mom and son Knick.
Mom said Knick team. She's working on it. Let me know what you guys think. We're thinking.
This is Terry, this is Trey. We're Terry and Trey.
Yes.
However, we're thinking of changing the name
Yes.
to the Mom Son Knick team. We want to get your feedback. What do you guys think about that?
Just to make it simple, but let's go back to our Knicks. 41-30 now, right? A big road win in Portland. We really play well. Didn't start great, right? We're going to talk about that. I know you like to talk about our hot
great,
starts.
and I'm fine with us not starting great. Now, I know that Randall has been very instrumental in starting these games really strong, scoring the three-pointers and giving us points, right? However, I'm not really afraid when we don't start off strong because I feel that we're a team that can come back.
Yep.
Right? Second quarter, third quarter. And so I didn't feel nervous at all, the fact that we started that low.
100%. I tweeted last night after the first quarter. I said, we got to run in us. Don't worry.
Right.
And I felt like that. Like right before the end of the first quarter, they cut the lead down a little bit because, it started horribly. But still, this team is good. And I think that's what we're going back to, right? The team is good. So at some point in the game, they're just going to be good and you're going to see them play well. And if it's a first quarter, they take a big lead and they hold. Because look, let's be real. We've been holding leads now, right?
Yes.
So we've had games where we killed it in the first quarter and then we never gave it up.
Right.
Whereas last night, I knew they were going to come back. The man that we have to talk about tonight is a guy who has been kind of forgotten a little bit, but to me was at the forefront of when we first made that change back in December. Things started to work. Derrick Rose was basically replaced by DEUCE McBride. His defense off the bench, we've known about his defense for years now. He's been in the G League. He got so much playing time in the G League, shooting amazing in the G League.
I think that's key. I think that's key that he was able to play in the G League because it means that he never stopped actually playing the game. It's one thing to play in training, right? Because you're playing against your team. When you're playing in the G League, you are playing an actual real basketball game. So I think that it's really important for these young guys that are on the team to get opportunities to still be on the court. And I think that's why we
100%.
saw him able to step up like how he was. And another point about him stepping up, Brunson being out is the reason that he was playing. And so I actually am totally fine. Brunson's injury hopefully is not going to keep him out too much longer.
Yeah.
But it's good for him to be injured, be on the bench, and let these guys step up because during the playoffs, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And you need to make sure that the whole team can play. If Randall were to get injured, I'm just saying, who's stepping up?
Obadiah topping. We'll see. But yeah, big win last night. Josh Hart, instrumental, doing everything, assists, rebounds. This guy is just, back in Portland, of course. So anyway, they shot a little bit. The other guy who Knick's Twitter was going crazy on this Cam Reddish thing. My God.
And how many points did he score?
Yeah, he didn't have a good game. And listen, I didn't want to rag on Cam.
Right.
We like Cam. We wanted him to play. We were on these shows like, oh my God, please play Cam Reddish more. But listen, the Knicks made a trade. It worked out. Cam wasn't fitting in.
Right.
If you are blaming Tibbs for that, and you feel like Tibbs didn't give him a chance, that's fair. I'm not against that. But this is about the Knicks.
Right.
The Knicks are winning games. Josh Hart is a huge
The
part
Knicks
of
are
this.
winning games. Our bench is playing spectacularly. There was a point where, I don't know what we ended up with, but I know there was a point where our bench had 35 points and their bench had 5. So that shows you how valuable those guys are. And Josh Hart made a comment, I want to say the quote was, that when the bench comes into the game, he wants to energize and elevate the game. And that is exactly what they did.
Yep.
And when they create that energy, you see it.
You see it.
You see it reflected. You see the guys happy. I saw Julius giving him a pound. You saw them being happy with how they are playing.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, it is a game that they all love that they're playing, right? So when they're in a groove and a rhythm and they like the guys they're playing with, it reflects in the game.
Perfectly said. Josh Hart, to me, is a superstar role player. Mm-hmm. I don't think you can get, as a role player, you're not going to get better than Josh Hart. I think Josh Hart could have been on any NBA team that won a championship in the history of basketball. What team would he have not played on? He does what you need. He gets rebounds. He does the dirty work. He can hit his threes. He's great in transition. He's a team guy. He puts the team first.
That guy.
He's that guy. He's him. Listen, Josh Hart has been an incredible pickup. The fact that, he's going to opt out of his contract this summer and we're going to re-sign him for a longer deal. The fact that this guy... Listen, every NBA championship team has a guy who does the stuff Josh Hart did, right? Now, when you're building a team and you're putting together a team to try to compete for a chip, you're trying to get the superstar, the second player, the shooter.
Thinking about that guy.
No, you are. This is the thing. You need the center who's going to get rebounds, right? You need your superstar. You need a veteran on the bench. You need a young player with energy. You need all these different parts, these archetypes that you need to fill in. But every team needs a guy like Josh Hart. For the Celtics, even though I can't stand him, it's Marcus Smart. Right? You need these guys. You can't stand him
when he's not on your team, but you love him on your team.
For the Bulls, you could maybe say Dennis Rodman back in the day. You could say Ron Harper. Every team has these kind of guys who can come in. LJ, Larry Johnson for the Knicks back in the day. Charlie Ward played that role sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, there's always these guys. Josh Hart is that guy. That's a piece. We have to build other pieces around this team, but having Josh Hart is incredible. I want to talk about two guys. Emmanuel quickly. Again, this guy's a starting point guard in the NBA. And I also want to talk about RJ Barrett. He didn't play late, right? But he had a very good game. And the last few RJ games have been so good. He's getting to the rim.
He's getting to the rim.
Yeah.
He's getting to the free throw line. He knows how to do that. He's tactful in getting and doing that. His confidence is building, and you're seeing it building. He scored remember we didn't, what were they had like 8 points before we even scored, right? And he scored the first 3-point. And you see it when he feels confident, he just plays better.
Yep.
And so even if his points are a little less, I'm preferring seeing him play more
100%.
confident.
Yep.
Taking good shots, making good plays. And so I'm happy with his play, like you said, the last few games. Quickly, 26 points, 3 assists, 10 rebounds.
This guy's ridiculous. He's a starting point guard.
And you're 100%
I'm a starting guard.
He is a starting guard on any other team.
Yeah, you know what?
On any other team, yes.
And guard, you know what? I'll give you that, to be honest. I don't think he's a starting point guard. Obviously, he's not going to go start over Chris Paul in Phoenix, but he's a starting guard, right? And we're going to have to figure out Emmanuel, because you look at Dallas, Brunson was on the bench, and they're like, hey, this guy needs to start. We got to figure it out. Yeah, Luka Doncic is the man, but this guy is so good. Yeah. Quickly, he's kind of becoming a Brunson for the Knicks. Now, I don't think the Knicks are going to mess up and let another team take him. What I think we'll do, if Quickly ever leaves, I think what will happen is he will be part of a big deal for like a real star, which is fine. Like if Quickly, listen, I don't even want to lose Quickly at all. I want Quickly to be re-signed. I want him here for a long time. I think what he's doing is incredible, but how long is he going to want to stay on the bench? If he's watching him, he's looking at himself playing, he's like, yeah, I want to start, I want to play. So decisions down the line, but we're getting so much from Emmanuel Quickly, and I got to point this out. You brought up McBride. Jericho Sims has done this multiple times this season, where these guys just come in off of not playing and just fit in and give us something. Yes. Quickly, RJ, Mitch. We got to talk about Mitch. The second half of the show, I got something to show you about Mitch. Okay. Obi. Obi had a good game last night. Right. Obi's been looking more comfortable too. Right? You got I'm messing up names, but you got Grimes, McBride. This entire team is drafted. Which is what we always wanted. This next team is not just, they're young and they drafted all their players. They're also winning. You can't write a more perfect script for the history of what we've gone through, of the Knicks being able to draft players, develop them, and then watch them perform. That's why this team, I think, feels so much more emotional for some of us, because it feels like these are our guys.
It's a homegrown team.
It's a homegrown team.
It's definitely a homegrown team. McBride, let's go back to him. He had 4 3-pointers. He had that nasty block on Simons.
Oh my God.
After he did that block, the energy stepped up. Yeah. The energy stepped up. The whole team felt it, and they just went on their run.
I love DEUCE. I think, talking about the bench and the rotation and this and that, we head into the playoffs. I do want to mention this. Let me get to the playoffs talk in a second. 22 wins. Best road team in the NBA. We've been now, earlier in the season, we weren't winning at home. Remember that was the thing, we were not winning at home
we went to games that we were not winning.
Yeah, we had like an 0-5 record of going to games to start the season. The Knicks, though, were always winning on the road. They kept winning on the road. They're winning on the road without Jalen Brunson, who, by the way, gotta say this, Jalen Brunson, Iron Man, right? He's been playing all season, getting banged up. All season, we're like, damn, he's taking every charge. He's on the ground, this, that, the other.
He's taking too many blows.
Now, obviously, his foot, like you said, we gotta see what happens. But his body is getting a lot of rest. Wait, a lot of rest. Brunson, the Sacramento game was last week Saturday.
Right.
Right? We're filming this today is Wednesday.
Yep.
So he's not playing.
And 3 days off till our next game, which is Saturday afternoon.
And remember, before the Sacramento game, now obviously he aggravated it somewhat, but he
played the first half of that game.
He did play the first half, but before that, he also missed a little bit of time too.
Yeah.
So his body right now
is getting
fully recharged. If you let Jalen Brunson get to the playoffs now feeling fresh, sky's the limit. Sky is the limit for this team. But back to the road stuff. We are resilient. We are mature. We go on the road and we're not phased.
We go on the road and we're not phased. We go on the road and we win games. The opposing team comes to the Garden and, wants to show out because they're on Broadway. However, when we're on the road, we always have Knicks fans there.
Yeah, we do.
We always have Knicks fans there. And I don't think that these opposing teams know what they're going to be walking into when they walk into a playoff at Madison Square Garden. Because that's next level. The crowd is going to be insane for the Knicks.
Guys,
so it's going to be very different when they come here to the playoffs.
Be excited, guys. These are incredible moments for Knicks fans. We're already a guaranteed 500 team. Vegas had us at 39.5 wins, potentially. Okay. We passed that. There's 11 games left. We could possibly get to 50 wins. I don't need it. I think maybe we get to 48, 49. But, the young players are playing. The team is looking good. We're thriving at our Brunson. You bring this up all the time. These guys are getting confidence, right? Mm-hmm. RJ had to step up a little bit back into his second option role without Brunson, looking more comfortable. Obi, after a couple of weeks back, Obi's looking better and better. Mm-hmm. Hartenstein, not scoring at all, but giving everything.
Rebounds and just really giving us all of that off the ball play.
Energy, Jesse. I'm so happy with Isaiah. We got to talk about someone else who was not too happy after last night. That's Mitch Robinson.
Oh.
So we're gonna reveal what Mitch said on what his Instagram story said.
Oh no.
Oh no, indeed.
Oh no.
I know. Now to be fair, Mitch is
not really that. He's not really that guy.
Nah, he is. He's done this a couple times. Mitch has been on Twitter and kind of said things and done vague things in the past, which is why
Twitter fingers. He got Twitter fingers going on last night.
The one thing I'm trying to put it up here. The one thing I would say is I don't really feel like this is something we need to be worried about. I think this is a young guy just kind of trying to figure out his role.
Right.
As I scroll through Twitter and I cannot find it, here's what he said. Tired as F of being out there for cardio. I want to play basketball, just wasting my time and energy. Right?
Oh.
Now, again, I know this sounds critical, but this is kind of how Mitch talks. Mitch wants more of the ball, right? Mitch wants to get a lob. We have not been doing the lobs. I know RJ and Mitch have that great connection on lobs.
Yeah.
We've not seen it as much recently. I think a lot of times these guys don't look for the lob as much. Mitch is always kind of coming off in his chances for that. Mitch isn't really a good offensive center. It's like you give Mitch the ball and say, okay, do 3 moves and score. He's not that guy.
Right.
So when he says things like this, I'm like, listen, bro, you got to show the team you can score consistently.
Right.
But listen, everybody in the NBA has been a star before they got to the NBA. They used to being the main guy.
Right.
It's an adjustment.
I hear you.
How are you worried?
No, I think what you said is true. I think him being a young guy, he was just feeling himself last night and he made that comment. I don't think he's really that guy. So I think he'll come back around. I mean, he's been playing fine. Hartenstein, when he steps up, Tibbs got to make the adjustment. I talk about Tibbs making the adjustment mid-game. If someone has a heat check, you let them go on the heat check, right? And as a part of the team, you're supposed to kind of observe that and say, okay, go ahead. Right? Go ahead and go through.
Go brave. The funny thing is, just about that, like you said, one thing that Tibbs did do last night that I really loved is he had DEUCE McBride in late. He played well. He kept him playing. Right. So I want to see more of that from Tibbs. Want to see more of that from the Knicks. We're heading into this next stretch of the season. We'll see if Brunson plays. That Denver game on Saturday is going to be ridiculous. Denver have not been doing that well recently.
Right.
They just dropped. I think they just dropped from the 1 seed out west. I think.
Okay.
I have to check. So they want to get some wins. They want to get there. But your Knicks are looking good, guys. Your Knicks are looking very good. And I'm glad we got that win. We really needed to just end the road trip well, get back to New York, and gear up.
Now, we play the Heat twice.
We do.
Right? We play...
Now we're about Miami.
Good. I'm glad to hear. We play the Heat twice. We play the Wizards. We play Indiana. And we play... who on Saturday? You just said?
Denver.
Denver Nuggets, on Saturday. So... we have 11 more games. What do you predict will be our wins and losses with those 11 games?
Over the last 11, I think we're going to go So I think we should win the last 4 of the season. I think I spoke about this in the last episode.
You did.
I think the last 11, without looking at the schedule specifically right now, my gut feeling is 7-4. Actually, 8-3 maybe, but 7-4. We do 7-4.
7-4 is realistic.
Honestly,
right.
if we go 6-5, we're fine.
Yeah.
We're gonna stay exactly where we are.
Mm-hmm.
We are very much heading for this 4-5 matchup with Cleveland.
With Cleveland, definitely. We play them. We play them again, actually.
That's a big game.
So that's going to be a big game.
Because you know what? If we get a little bit of a run,
right.
that game could get us the 4th seed and home court.
Home court advantage.
Listen, if this road thing works for us in the playoffs,
Yeah.
if our team is just so battle hardened they could go on the road in the playoffs and get wins,
Yeah.
and the Garden is the Garden, which it will be.
Right. Are we driving out to Cleveland? Are we flying out to Cleveland? What are we doing? Planes, trains, and automobiles? How are we getting
I don't want to promise anything, but you might see us in Cleveland or one of these cities, guys. You might see us get in trouble on the road. Any closing thoughts on your New York Knicks?
I'm happy. I'm happy
Yeah.
today. I'm going to be happy going to see the game on Saturday afternoon, and we've had a great season. The thing is, we've had a great season. We've watched these guys develop how we want to see them develop. We've watched everyone take that step up. I mean, even RJ at this point, we can kind of say that.
Listen, I've been loving his last week.
I just need to see now us kind of turn that corner because the playoffs are a different beast.
Yep.
And and the team has to understand that. As much as we play Cleveland here in a regular game in a couple, I don't know when.
31st, I think. Yeah.
As much as we play them, if we win in that game, that's nothing compared to what it's going to be like playing the same team 7 games.
100%. Last thing I want to say, because I forgot this point from earlier, I'm interested and perhaps considering that Tibbs opens the rotation up to 10 guys
Okay.
and puts Deuce back in there. Right?
After last night's game, why not?
Listen, he's got to do a little bit more.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's playing now because Brunson's out. When Brunson comes back, he's the guy that leaves, right? Remember, when Josh Hart came in, he replaced Cam Reddish, who wasn't playing.
Yep.
So Josh Hart is really the one who knocked Deuce out of the rotation, right? Deuce was playing as the backup guard.
Right.
Josh Hart comes in, Cam Reddish was not playing, so he didn't count. And now we are where we are. But listen, I think like he said too, once it comes to the playoffs, there's going to be so many adjustments that has to be made.
Yeah.
There have been so many playoffs where a role player was not expected to do anything, got thrust into a role and just stepped up.
Right.
So the fact that these guys have been doing that all season since McBride, they've been able to do that, I'm excited. I'm excited, Knicks fans. There's no reason to complain. This thing's what we complain about. But be happy. Enjoy this. Your Knicks are good.
Peace.